let me hit it, hit. Bitches on my dick, yeah, let me hit it, hit. Hold up, calm down, hold up, calm down, hold up, calm down, hold up, calm down. Bitches on my dick, yeah, let me hit it, hit. Bitches on my dick, yeah, let me hit it, hit. Well. We are back with another fucking video, baby. And I do want to say something, one thing and one thing only. Stop all that killing it and watch some videos with me, baby. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why the hell I was at this dry board? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea. But look, we're about to get into this one fucking video, man. Alright, 10 matches that got WWE instantly fired. Now, I don't know any type of match. You know what? I take that back. I know some type of matches that I think Big Cass, he didn't have a match. Oh, so it's, I don't know. I think Big Cass, I think he had a match and he probably got fired. I don't know. Have no idea, but you know what? I really don't know. So boom, let's actually get into this video. Let's run this bad boy up real quick. Let's see what this is all about. Yeah, I don't know at all. I really don't know.
10 WWE.
Hold on. Okay, bet. Let's get into this video. Let's run it up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button. And let's run this bad boy up. Let's go.
Wrestlers that were fired right after a match. Number 10, Bob Orton. A WWE should always take the safety of their talent seriously. And in late 2000,
Bob Orton got in trouble? Like, what happened? Damn, motherfucker. Damn, okay. I see your ass. I see you, motherfucker.
5, the welfare of talent came into question, and it even led to one individual being released from the company. The iconic feud between The Undertaker and Randy Orton would come to an end at Armageddon 2005, and the two would settle their score inside Hell in a Cell, and due to this being a Ruthless Aggression Cell match, there was definitely bloodshed. Cowboy Bob Orton, who had returned to WWE television in the prior months, played a big part in the match, and he was even busted wide open. Unfortunately, this is where the problem began, as Orton was positive for Hep C, and he had it since he was a teenager. It was reported that he simply forgot to inform WWE officials. However, it was claimed that the negligence lied squarely on John Laurinaitis, as he was fully aware. Quite rightly, the dead man was furious, and even though he ended up testing negative for Hep C, it was still extremely dangerous, and the situation should have never surfaced. Orton would be released in the months following the pay-per-view match, and it's firmly believed that any plans to make his son world champion again were completely scrapped. Number 9, Eugene. WWE made the controversial call to bring back the Eugene character in 2009. By the time he returned to the company, WWE were firmly cemented in the PG era. Bringing back such a risky character was going to lead to an influx of complaints. The storyline WWE decided on for his return was to book Eugene in a contract.
TurboTax Free Edition.
Those ads don't play, man. I promise you.
Qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only.
On a pole match versus the Calgary Kid, who would be later revealed to be The Miz. Eugene would lose the match, and this so happened to be his last WWE match ever. It was reported by various outlets that Vince McMahon took issue with Eugene's weight gain, and he was subsequently let go from his contract. Even WWE legend Randy Orton commented on the release, and this is what Orton had to say during a 2009 interview with the UK Sun. He came back 2 weeks ago and came in a little heavy from where management wanted him to come in. Nick is a good friend of mine. He pulls some strings to get his job back, and he comes back all overweight. So all in all, I'm a little upset right now with him.
Yeah, that's Vince.
Has never been an individual to hold back his true feelings, especially in 2009. Number 8, Mr. Kennedy. Now, Mr. Kennedy was set for superstardom in WWE, and at one stage, WWE was strongly considering making Kennedy world champion. Unfortunately, an influx of injuries led to him missing a ton of TV time, and when he eventually returned to WWE television in 2009, he would end up being fired immediately after a featured match on Raw. In the match, Kennedy would botch a back suplex on Randy Orton, and this absolutely enraged Orton, who proceeded to complain to
I did heard about this too. That was crazy.
He was unsafe in the ring, and he didn't want to work with him. According to Kennedy in a 2009 interview with ESPN Radio, Orton jumped really hard and his neck never touched the mat. Randy jumped really hard. In wrestling,
Damn,
it's give and
that
take.
gotta hurt.
It was a matter of either I drop him on his head or I help him through
Hello.
His
Okay.
neck never even touched the mat, which makes me wonder why he even went to the trainer's room to get his...
My apologies. I was trying to test out the mic because I think my mic is kind of messing up. Couldn't tell. That's why. Hold on. Trying to figure it. If you guys can hear me out, I could hold on. Okay. All right. I hear myself. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good to go.
his neck taped up. He was so injured that he went on to wrestle 3 nights in Mexico. Now, when Orton heard these comments, Orton ran to the nearest internet message board and he decided to bring up Kennedy's wife. I honestly hope for his wife's sake that he can find something else he's marginally good at and earn a living. I know he really wants to entertain, so good luck, Ken. You're gonna need it. According to Kennedy, it wasn't just Orton who complained, as WWE's top star John Cena also went to WWE management, and Vince McMahon had no choice but to side with 2 of his biggest names. So Kennedy was let go. Number 7, Brad Maddox. One of the biggest stories of 2015 related to the WWE release of Brad Maddox.
I always wonder what happened to him, because I always got confused about that.
Maddox was working a dark match against R-Truth, and before the match, Maddox for some reason decided to call the live crowd cocky pricks. With WWE being a PG presentation, Vince McMahon was so livid that he immediately called for Maddox to be handed his release papers. According to Maddox, during an interview on the 2-Man Power Trip podcast, McMahon didn't even want to see Maddox, and he let talent relations handle the sudden release. It was because I call the Indianapolis crowd pricks. I guess with Vince, that is...
Hey, bro, hold on, bro, hold on. Crowd picks? We ain't no crowd picks, motherfucker. What the hey, bro, that's my hometown, nigga. Now, hey, I'm glad he followed your ass now. Man, shit, crowd picks. Hell nah, you ain't caring. Nah, I'm just playing with you. But hey, man, hey, bro, hey. I almost gave you an ass whooping right there, Mr. Brad Mox. Mad Mox. I don't give a damn what your name is, sir. Talking about my hometown like that, boy.
Is a really bad word to him. I didn't think anything of it, and it's probably worse if you're from like New York in the 1950s, but I didn't think anything of it, and he did. And I got a talking to that night, and I got sent home, and then they called me the next day and said that they decided to make the decision. I don't know why the decision was so harsh. No, I didn't talk to Vince because he wouldn't see me. It was talent relations that came and reported what was coming out of his mouth. I tried to talk to him that night, and he didn't want to see me, so I didn't get a chance to defend myself. But when the story first surfaced, fans had split opinions. There were those fans that were sympathetic towards Maddox, however there was a strong portion of fans who questioned what on earth he was thinking by cursing on a PG show.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident in the last year? Yep, even if you...
Number 6, Kurt Angle. Now, unlike the rest of the names on this list, Kurt Angle actually requested his release following a match in 2006. After Angle's match with Sabu on the ECW brand, Angle went directly to Vince McMahon after a verbal back and forth, and he requested that Vince McMahon should fire him with immediate effect. Angle was in a lot of pain with nagging injuries, and he needed to get away from the heinous WWE
Which
schedule.
is true.
Eventually, McMahon agreed, but it wasn't easy for McMahon, as Angle was one of his biggest names in the company, and he would subsequently release a statement. It's unfortunate that Kurt was released, and it's really unfortunate for the WWE fans who, for a while at least, won't see Angle in action. Angle is a consummate professional, obviously he's a great athlete, and he's the only Olympic gold medalist in WWE history. Not to have Kurt with us is really unfortunate all the way around, but circumstances were such that Kurt should have been and was granted his release. According to Angle on his podcast, his painkiller problem was a contributing factor to him requesting his release. I was in bad shape, I had a lot of injuries. At one particular time I had the neck injury, the shoulder, the abdominal, I had torn abdominal muscle, a groin muscle, a hamstring. This was all at the same time. I was in really bad shape and the painkiller problem wasn't getting any better. So I was in a state of turmoil, and even my relationship with Vince started dwindling, and it was getting more erratic. I was, calling him, leaving him messages with threats. I felt out of control. I was at a bad...
And if you know Vince didn't get no shit, bro. He didn't care about he didn't care about your neck hurting. He didn't care about none of that bullshit, bro. And you see, you guys want Vince back. This is what he was doing. He didn't care about your neck hurting. He just wanted you to perform. He wanted you guys to perform out there and get yourself hurting. Come on now, that shit sucks. But hey, you guys wanted Vince back, right?
bad point in my life. I just couldn't keep myself together. That's the main reason I left WWE in 2006. This was definitely the right call from Angle and WWE, as
Facts.
the wheels were truly coming off. And it's often been stated that Angle leaving when he did saved his pro wrestling career and possibly even his life. Number 5, The Ultimate Warrior. And throughout his various WWE runs,
That's the first.
Ultimate Warrior was known to be incredibly difficult to work with both inside and outside
That
the ring.
is true.
In 1991, just 1 month before the annual SummerSlam show, Warrior would write a letter directly to Vince McMahon threatening to no-show the event unless he was paid over $500,000.
God
This put
damn.
McMahon in a tough spot, as Warrior had already been heavily marketed for the show, and if he was pulled from the show, it would no doubt damage the upcoming buy rate. McMahon had no choice but to follow through with the payment, and it would be McMahon who got the last laugh, as following the SummerSlam pay-per-view, Warrior would be fired on the spot. In an official letter addressed to the Warrior, McMahon would state, "You threatened to stay at home, thereby not appearing at Titan's major summer pay-per-view event, SummerSlam. I had no choice but to accede to your exorbitant demands.
Yeah.
This was a serious mistake on your part. A wrestler making demands of this nature is rare, but it's happened from time to time in pro wrestling, and the other most notable instance took place in 1999 with Jeff Jarrett." Number 4, Brian Clark. WWE had high expectations for the Chronic duo, and they were given the opportunity of a lifetime at the 2001 Unforgiven pay-per-view. The team, which consisted of Brian Clark and Bryan Adams, was to face The Undertaker and Kane, and if this match went well, then there was no doubt that both men would be cemented in the tag division for many years to come. Ultimately, the match was a total and utter failure. The match exposed both members of Chronic for not being at the level of fellow WWE stars, and it was obvious from his face that The Undertaker was utterly ashamed of the quality of the match.
Damn.
After the match, WWE made the executive call to send both men for more training, but when Clark refused, he was released from his WWE contract. WWE taking this type of action following a match isn't common, but they needed to act. The match was truly atrocious, and they needed to make a point that subpar in-ring work in 2001 just wasn't going to cut it. Number 3, Buff Bagwell. Although there was a portion of the fanbase that expected Buff Bagwell to have an epic run in WWE following his arrival in 2001. The problem was that although Buff Bagwell was unique and fairly decent in the ring, he had a notable attitude issue, and this wasn't going to work with WWE's locker room at this time. Bagwell's WWE run was a total bust, as Bagwell would just end up having one match on WWE television. That match was when Raw turned into WCW Nitro and was main evented by Bagwell vs Booker T. It resulted in one of the worst matches in Raw history. The match was flat, botch-filled, and the WWE audience had no interest in seeing a B-level WCW match in the same event slot of Raw. When the match was so poorly received, WWE decided to let Bagwell go from his contract, with both his attitude issues and the horrendous Booker match being key contributing factors. Now, in relation to Booker T, he was said to be extremely well-liked backstage and had instantly connected with the locker room. Booker was given another chance, and his subsequent feuds with the likes of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were well received and showed the world that Booker T was going to be a WWE mainstay for the next few years. Number 2, Braun Strowman. It was hard to have classic matches during the COVID-19
I didn't know about that.
However, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, and Drew McIntyre certainly tried at Backlash 2021. The three-man had an outstanding triple threat for the WWE title, and this was a match that deserved to be witnessed by a live audience, as it was just that good. But in one of the most confusing moves of the COVID-19 era, it was formally announced just weeks after Backlash that Strowman had been fired. Strowman had gone from wrestling for the WWE title to being unemployed in a matter of weeks, and fans wanted answers. It was reported that Strowman's release was a cost-saving measure, and Strowman was one of the highest paid names on the WWE.
In aviation flight training, details
Damn,
are
bro, what the
important.
fuck with these
At
ads,
Spartan
man?
College in Tulsa, we focus on
WWE roster. Cutting main event level talent was alarming, as it showed that nobody was safe from the chopping block. But thankfully it all turned out okay, as the following year Triple H would bring Strowman back into the fold, and he's been a regular on WWE programming ever since. And number 1,
Jeff Hardy. Yeah,
there was a collective shock in 2021 on social media when WWE announced that Jeff Hardy had been released. It turned out that the former WWE champion had walked away from a match at a live event, as Hardy was teaming with Drew McIntyre and Xavier Woods against the Bloodline, and after this, WWE requested that Hardy attend a rehab facility, and when Hardy declined, he was let go from his contract. According to Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, WWE felt that they had no choice but to release him. Given
That's
his
crazy.
track record, there was really no other decision WWE could make. They had to request him go to rehab between his track record and him being impaired in a main event match. When he refused the request, there was no choice but to let him go. WWE did this with full knowledge that there was at least a chance Hardy would be signed by AEW and likely be a major star there. But once Hardy refused to go to rehab, WWE's hands were tied. Now, according to Hardy himself, during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, it was around this time his drinking was getting out of control. When I left WWE in 2021, my dad had been real sick. 2017, right after we went back to WWE at Mania, that was probably around the time he felt good for the last time before he slipped back into this dark depression. But yeah, I'd been taking care of him, and it was just bad to where he didn't want to be here. He was ready to go. Our mom died at a young age. I was 10 when she passed away. So I've always told myself when he needs me, I'm gonna...
I get where Jeff Hardy's coming from, man. I understand his heart. You know, I'm not saying that I had my mom die at the age of 10 and everything, but, you know, I did have one of the loved ones. I had one of my loved ones, you know, that died. They died when I was at a young age. And damn. But I am saying it's still not right to go into depression mode of, you know, still drinking, still doing things like that. That's still not good. You know, taking pills and everything. And no offense, if you don't go to the rehab that they request, it is a big issue. You know, because I feel like in a business standpoint that they needed to make sure, you know, Jeff Hardy goes there. Because you don't know what else he was going to actually do. But I mean, in my hand, I'm glad he's actually kind of back. You know, if you did went to go watch NXT, he was actually good. The match was actually amazing.
I'm gonna take care of him. I just did everything I could to get him excited about life and all that stuff. So that's definitely when my drinking got carried away during those times that I never really talked about. Now, Jeff Hardy would go on to have runs in AEW and then TNA, and although the door isn't closed on a WWE comeback, it's likely that the relationship needs significant work following the 2021 incident. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE wrestlers that were fired after a match. Be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll see you next time with some more
wrestling content. Sheesh. I would say, man, that was actually a good video. That was a good video. I just and it's crazy because this is true from Jeff Hardy. But I would say this, and perhaps write down in the comments down below what was some type of matches that got wrestlers fired. Was it from this list, or if it's not, write it down in the comments down below. But other than that, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and we're on the road to 1,001K subscribers. Let's go.
I understand it now. This is sport. This is sport. This is sport.